pre-show going. Yo, let's get it going. Just let me know when it's a hot mic, so I'll say that now. I'll forever regret, man. You know?
No, the mic is hot. It's always hot.
Okay, the pre-show has started.
All right, brother. Take off.
Yo, it's going. I don't know how sometimes it's going. It's more.
All right.
I am from New York City, but I live in Buffalo.
Yeah. We live here on the Wright Report.
Yeah, I have some people down in Utica come and see me. In fact, my son, this is
we got Jerome Wright on remote load.
Working out at this
location undisclosed, as you hear him in the background.
That's right.
His location is undisclosed for now.
Thank you for the Jerome, man, for the prayer.
Father, we thank you for your goodness and your blessings. Thank you, Lord. Direct our steps, Lord. I pray that you touch Jerome. I pray you watch over him, safe, Lord. Now that you're going to be upon him. Bless us in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Got chocolate in the seat. Yeah. What's that? We on the.
We on. We live, man. We on the pre-show.
We on the pre-show. So, ain't too many people. Hold on, let me get in this thing, man. Making all this. Webster, yes. Is there Rochester? Where at? Lyle? Oh, Lighthouse. Webster. 7 o'clock in the morning or evening? Okay. Lighthouse, 7 o'clock.
In Dubai at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yes. Hello?
Yeah, we here.
Yeah, we here.
Okay, hold on. Wait, hold on. I'm here too. What you talking about? Like y'all the only ones here.
We here.
I'm looking for the phone. Hold on. Listen, I'm about to be there live and in color, man. What is you talking about? Listen, for our pre-show, I just want y'all to know, man, we here, man. We got a studio full. I'm in an undisclosed location, as you can see. I'm in a bunker. You know, I'm in a bunker here because we're about to set these airwaves on fire, man. Listen. For y'all who just tuned in early, you're going to get the word. My man got the word on the street, but this is the word for the movement, man.
That's right.
This is the word for the movement. They say, my man Gil Scott, and I know him personally, God rest his soul, said, the revolution will not be televised.
That's right.
That's right.
We agree. The revolution will not be televised, but through the GYZ spectrum of media,
right.
it will be radioactive,
That's
baby.
right.
It will be
That's
radioactive.
That's right. That's
we
right.
gonna hit you from the radio waves. And listen, man. Things is getting really critical, man. And you know, we try to laugh and joke and keep a calm demeanor, but you know, things are critical, man. And we got a state of emergency. I just was in Albany today, man, and it's so bad that I got a chance to sit down and personally speak with some of the legislators, and they telling me, man, that this is another session that's lost. You know what I'm saying? So we got a prison industrial complex in a state of emergency about to implode any minute. We got a legislature that's deadlocked with the governor and hasn't passed the budget. This is May 26th. It's due on April 1st. They go on vacation June 4th next week. There's only 1 week of time. They say they're going to get the budget passed and signed on Thursday. That'll give us less than a week because you don't count Saturday and Sunday. Less than a week to get all these voluminous bills passed that are important to our communities, and it's not going to get done. And they're going to have the convenient excuse, the built-in excuse, oh, we ran out of time. That's bull because they don't tell you to have it done by April 1st. Just they pick that out the sky because it's April Fool's Day. It's because they know that You got to do that, get that out the way, then you got enough time in the session to complete your duties.
Exactly.
And they're not going to complete them now. They keep talking about a crisis of overcrowding, overcrowding and short of staff. No, we got a crisis of too many people in there. We need these pathways to release. We got 2 parole bills, and they got 32 sponsorships in both houses, majorities, and they won't even put them on the floor for a vote. They won't put them on the floor for a vote. Now, I was there today, and today they went into caucus, and they talking about all these bills, and they trying to pass stuff, but if they pass them now, one, they're not doing it with the public's knowledge. They pass them in chambers. And then remember, every time when these bills get passed, before it's signed, the governor gets a shot at it with these petty and diluting chapter amendments. Everything that we thought we won has been decimated by chapter amendments. Or in the case of Halt, they didn't do no chapter amendments, so they did what? They just ain't implemented.
That's right. That was all pre-designed.
So that's
right,
where we at.
That's
That's where we at, man. That's where we at. We at a place where the law don't work for us, the law don't serve us, but the law punish and hurts us. It don't work the way it's supposed to work. When I broke a law, they took my black behind to jail.
You paid.
Yes, I did. There was like my man Eddie Murphy said, consequences and repercussions.
There will be consequences and repercussions, and they
But as we see, just like DJ Granville, just like John Flynn, just like all of these other people, they do things and it's almost with total impunity.
That's right.
This is where we at, man. They trying to take the clock back, and I don't know how to. I'm glad y'all on, cause see when they hear me ranting and railing, they think that it's just me. Or this is my vision, man. Would you please tell these people how bad this thing is geopolitically in the whole sphere? It's not just prisons are just a microcosm of this problem, man. Everything that's going on in there is going on out here.
Jerome,
right.
Just like they killing brothers on the street and macing them and killing them and stomping them out after they shooting them, they do that in jail every day.
Jerome, you ready to go on the air?
Yeah, we going live, Jerome.
Right, let's go, man. Let's go live. I'm already fine. This thing got me hot and ready, man.
Yeah, I don't want you to run out of battery power.
Is there a website?
Nah,
Is there Wi-Fi here?
Yeah.
It's Wi-Fi. You can get it there.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi is H.O.T.F. You see it in the listing?
You pull it up on your phone.
Yeah. Now, what's the passcode?
Cornball.
Oh, good.
My favorite word.
That's right.
How many people I've been calling cornball for the last 10 years?
You've been using that to the end of you.
Where you get that from, man?
Well,
you must have stole my word, man.
I wanted to pick something that nobody would forget.
Cornball.
Cornball, that's right.
And then when I was going through the list, somebody said, if you choose cornball, no one will ever forget that.
I disagree with that, though. You know why I disagree with that? Because some cornballs going to act like they don't know what you're talking about. That's what's going to happen.
If you didn't disagree, Deke, then it wouldn't be you. You got to disagree. That's when I know you're working on all four cylinders. Four cylinders.
Listen, it's called point counterpoint, baby.
That's right.
Ain't no one side to this
That's
thing.
right. That's what I'm
10
saying.
points, yo. 10 toes down. Come on.
If you did not disagree,
right.
then I know that's AI working. It's not my man Deacon Jerome.
Okay, now when you're ready to go on the air,
I'm watching the countdown. So
in
y'all
front of
see when
you,
you
there's
get
a
to
little
one.
box.
Uh-huh.
You see the number 5 with a circle?
Yep.
When you press that, it'll start the timer to go on the air.
All right.
So you got control.
You ready, Rome?
Yo, you in control, man.
All right, we taking
you
off.
In control,
Here we go.
man.
We
Man, tell him
go.
run the
Okay,
point,
now
man.
watch
Run
the
point.
screen.
3.
You pressed it twice.
Let's see. 2.
You got them
1.
heavy fingers, man.
We live.
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Do you want to start with the Tupac thing?
This,
You want to start with the...
Oh man, listen, no, wait, I don't want. I'm gonna tell you. Can you start that 1 minute? Can I tell you when this? Can I cue you when to start that?
Well, you can start it now.
I'm telling you, start it.
Okay,
Start it.
here we go.
Start it. Start it.
Every time I speak, I want the truth to come out. You know what I'm saying? Every time I speak, I want to shiver. You know, I don't want them to be like they know what I'm going to say because it's polite. They know what I'm gonna say. And even if I get in trouble, you know what I'm saying? That ain't that what we're supposed to do? I'm not saying I'm gonna rule the world or I'm gonna change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us. We might not be the ones, but let's not be selfish, and because we're not going to change the world, let's not talk about how we should change it. I don't know how to change it, but I know if I keep talking about how dirty it is out here, somebody going to clean it up. Every time I...
Okay, there you go.
Whoa. Whoa!
Powerful.
If we keep talking about how dirty it is, somebody got
gonna
to clean it up. And it is dirty.
It's
you
filthy.
know, dirty red, dirty dog out there.
Dirty
It's
dog.
It's dirty than dirty dog. Good evening, y'all. Listen, I want y'all to know I'm a little hyped today because I'm coming to you from an undisclosed location, and because things is hectic now. It is so bad out here now that you don't know who next will be the target of a massacre. If it'll be like Cleveland Cavaliers or the 76ers, it could be you next. I just want to get that off.
Shout out to
I had
them.
to find a way to put that in.
Shout out.
Shout out to the
Listen,
Knicks.
with all that's wrong in the world, what's right in the world is New York going to the finals, baby. That's all we got to quote about.
27 years.
Because, listen, yeah, man, been long. We've been suffering so long that now, if we don't get the chip, I don't even know what's going to happen. It's going to be, the world might end because right now, and I don't want to go there, though, but we've been just talking about cleaning it up. Now that the Knicks, they cleaned up the Eastern Conference, let's clean up these streets. Let's clean up these streets. Let's talk about what's going on in this government and in these streets, man. We got the message today, and I want you brothers, because I wasn't there. Well, how did this $250,000 a year police commissioner approached this controversy with officers not only shooting a man, but then proceeding to stomp him afterwards? What was the remarks to that?
Right.
Tell us, man.
Right. Now, wait. Hold on. Since you've been gone, we had another shooting. I don't know if you heard. A police officer got shot on Sherman and Broadway, and then they proceeded to shoot the individual that shot the police officer. This just happened about 1:30 this afternoon.
So we haven't really got all that report on it, but what they're saying is that it was a domestic violence call that turned into an altercation where the officer was shot multiple times in the arm and the leg, but then they actually returned fire and wounded him
as well
on Sherman and Broadway.
What they're not saying is that we pleaded with this police department, with this mayor, with this city for years to have people be able to come to those scenes.
Mental health.
That will prevent mental health, yes, assistance. They agreed on it. We argued, we fought it. It's supposed to have been a budgeted item for a trial, and to date, we don't have it.
Right, and
we don't have it. We don't need to be shooting, right? Yes,
Crisis
we don't need to
services.
be killing people. We don't need to be killing people who got mental illness already. They're already suffering and hurt. They need treatment. They need to be around people who know how to de-escalate the situation. They don't need police coming to them, confronting them with tasers and guns. What you expect somebody to do?
You
I'm
come
not
into
trying
a
to
fire with
justify
gasoline.
anything. I'm just talking about what. Let's lose some logic here. You talking about you lunging at somebody. You're coming at somebody after you just tased them.
That's
Your
right.
taser didn't work, whatever happened, and now you got a gun aimed at them. What you think they're gonna do?
And you got to remember, you're not de-escalating.
Oh,
you're agitating. You're agitating
Right.
the suspect, and you're not working for the community because you're endangering everybody else. Because now you have a full-out assault on one individual that can lead to other people getting injured or hurt. What
Or
if he would have
involved,
grabbed?
right.
What
It
if
could
he would
all
have
be.
grabbed a innocent bystander and pleaded for his safety and his life? Now it would have been a hostage situation with somebody who had mental illness, who was formerly incarcerated. When the key measure of this whole situation was he was formerly incarcerated. He had done a extensive bid in prison. So now you're not
And
dealing with
solitary
nobody.
confinement, I'm sure.
Yes, solitary confinement. He went in one way, but that goes to show you, Deacon Jerome. He went in one way and came out another way. This is what we've been pleading to our city, the government officials. If you send them there and you expect them to come back, there's no logic of rehabilitation. It does not work. It's not. It's an invisible diamond. It's an invisible diamond. Because now what medical issues and what emotional and mental issues that they sustain while there, it's not Little Red Riding Hood, it's not Cinderella. They don't just wake up and come home and say, oh, I'm 100%. They have social anxiety, mental health. They have all kind of different bipolar. They have medical issues.
It's worse now. They don't have anything.
Post-traumatic
stress. They're in their cells. Listen, brother. This is what I'm telling you.
23 hours a day.
They're in their cells basically 23 hours a day. So they're not getting mental health treatment. They're not getting mental health meds. They're not getting out of their cells. They're not getting recreation. They're not getting packages. They're not getting their mails not tempered. They're not in the. They're being so oppressed that the boiler plate, you know how that pressure cooker is?
That's right.
It is
That's
about
right.
to explode, man.
Pressure bust pipes, man. Pressure
And
bust
let me
pipes.
say this for the record. And let me say this for the record for all those that misunderstand and don't understand. Whether they understand it or not, D, the body keeps score. So every time a blow is hit at them, a solitary confinement, in cruel treatment, inhumane treatment, social anxiety, separation anxiety, lack of programming, lack of nourishment, famine, and all this poverty, even in prison, poverty. That's one of the highest forms of depression is poverty. And now the body keeps a score.
The number one complaint is the lack of food consumption.
Poverty.
You get your last meal at 5, and you get your next meal at 6 or 7 the next morning.
Prison poverty is one of the highest.
Over 12 hours away.
12 hours away. It is one of the most capitalist punishments that a human can ever receive. You have better chances being stuck on an island alone with a sea, an ocean, with coconuts, pineapples, mangoes, and all kind of different environment. You have a better chance of surviving on an island all by yourself than to be in a prison where you don't have the proper food and nourishment that is provided. I'm just saying.
Never.
Or that's supposed to be. That's supposed to be provided. By your captors.
Because what they do, they talk about how much calories that it meets all these numbers. But when it's, I don't care how much numbers it meet, when it's so far and few given in between, and when it's not a full serving to begin with. What are you talking about? We're talking about grown men and women. We're not talking about 6 and 7 year olds that you can give two chicken nuggets to. You're talking about grown men and women who need a substantial meal. And then you give your largest meal in the middle of the day.
That's right.
Which means that the last meal is a snack, which means you went more than 12 hours without a full meal.
Yeah.
And then you expect them to be, that's not sustainability, one. And, you got to think about it. The metabolism speeds up because the mind burns calories. The mind burns just as many calories as the physical body does.
At work.
And then now the mind is working 10 times as hard, which means that you're hungry, you're thirsty, you're dehydrated, and you're famine. Because your mind is producing all kind of different membranes in your brain, and that's sending signals down to your body. Your craving organisms are going crazy, and you don't have the food to sustain it.
No, that's torture, brother. That's torture. That's what they do to them in torture camps. They deprive you of food. They morsel out you ration out your master.
Inhumane.
Yes.
The Eighth Amendment, they in violation of that. Right.
I want to go back to something that Pastor Tim said. This illusion of rehabilitation. Let's really dissect that, because people often talk about, well, if they did something wrong, they need to be in there. Well, the rule says if you're gonna put them in there, you're gonna give them what they need so that when they come out, they can be John Q. citizens. I mean, they have a skill, they have an education, and they have a learning curve of
an asset to the society instead of a liability.
So what happens? So when you give them no programming,
That's
when you're
right.
giving them no outside community support, when you're curtailing visits and all the other things that help people to grow and be held accountable, what are you trying to do? You're trying to create another generation of recidivists so that you can keep the system going, or so that you can have justification for the type of abuse you got lined up down the line.
Corporation slavery.
Corporation slavery. And then, right, the end result of all of these lacks that we're talking about, lack of programming, lack of social engagement, family ties, and all of that, then it turns around and you get what just happened with the guy with the scissors and the razor blade the other day.
Yeah.
That's the end result of that. Because
Great point.
Because he didn't receive the stuff that he needed when they put him in there for, what was it, 8 years, 10 years, or whatever.
That is an excellent point. That's an excellent point.
He's going to come back out way worse than what he went in.
You know what it's called?
Even if it ain't worse, he's not going to come out better. And that's what he's supposed. That's what the taxpayer pay their money. These
Rehabilitation.
This man wants $4 billion to run a system that is doing nothing. $4 billion. Why do you need $4 billion? Thank you. I'm sorry.
What they call what it becomes is a urban terrorist and a mobile time bomb. When you take somebody and you mentally deprive them of all the necessities, the Maslow's law, and you deprive them of Maslow's law, the system that they believe that we live off of, you create an urban terrorist and you create a mobile time bomb, because the ability to explode is automatically definite. It's 100% chance without providing the proper needs and desires and mandatory requirements to live in society that you have been disenfranchised with. Now what happens is you're going to blow up. It's just when you're going to blow up and where you're going to blow up at. So it's systematically designed to blow up either at the bus station downtown, either in City Mission, either in another homeless shelter, St. Luke's, or on the corner streets or the most drug-infested areas. But you're going to blow up. Right. So it's a win-win situation, because now what happens is become recidivism, like you said, Deke. And now either way, it puts one person back in the system, which is billions of dollars spent on this inmate and housing them, and they're denying them medical attention, so they don't want to classify them as mentally insane, because that's another form of treatment. But right now they're feeding the corporate monster, which is the prison system. The corporate monster that's need to be fed, the rage in the machine is this corporation of mental, physical, traditional slavery. The mid-Atlantic slave trade has not dissolved. Everybody who thinks it did, it never dissolved. It just got upgraded, and it got invested in corporate structure.
I wasn't gonna go into that tonight because we did touch on it last week when you wasn't there. Yeah, that I want to tell this public again that the UN General Assembly has affirmed a resolution stating that the Atlantic trade in enslaved Africans and the chattel slavery system here in the Americas were the gravest and greatest inhumane acts to humanity ever. In history. Ever. And because of that, they have a 3 or 4 point plan in order to address that. And the number one is some form of reparations. Now, we keep walking away from this and we keep talking around this, but listen, we are due our reparations. We've always felt we would do, we always knew we would do, but now the world is affirming it. The world is affirming it. And just parenthetically, let me say this. It was only 3 people was against it. 3 nations. United States, Israel, the two crime partners in these wars right now, and Argentina.
That's right.
The rest of the world, 123 nations said reparations, return of artifacts and historical mementos, and the return of real education about the history of African-centric people on this planet and our true nature as the first here and the first to do most every and anything here. all of that should be reinstated. This is what the world is asking for. And the United States refuses, this bastion of freedom is supposed to be, refuses to do the right thing.
Well, listen at this. The Pope just announced that its apology and recognizing the fact that the Catholic Church played in the Mid-Atlantic, the Atlantic slave trade, and how they enslaved our people and how they used their spirituality in order to bind us and to separate us and to overpower us mentally, emotionally, and psychologically. So they're saying psychologically
Yes, that's
that
it.
they responsible psychologically they're responsible for embedding us with a doctrine that did not benefit us, but it put us in a state of slavery, and that they recognize that they owe us the biggest due diligence, what you're talking about right now, Deke, because if they're taking accountability, they made billions and billions and trillions and zillions of dollars off of the work, off the back of our ancestors, even down to this place, off our blood, and even into the generation that is in front of us, because it's something that is going to be what?
We
systemic.
see it, brother.
It's
We
systemic.
see it. Yeah.
You know, so, you know, we have to get down to the
Ethiopian Bible.
The Ethiopian Bible, which is the true Bible.
Because it even goes back, when the Pope apologizes for King James' ultimate bastardization of the original text, then I'll be willing to accept that.
But I'm
just saying, part of that apology should include the church's approach, not just to slavery, but to the whole concept of a white Jesus, a white God, which they know is emphatically not true.
Well,
they knew
you
this.
got to understand one of the most important things about the Ethiopian country. They were never colonized. The Ethiopian country never was colonized, and they were the longest standing continent that was out there that kept the original, the Ethiopian Bible, the traditions, the way of knowing knowledge.
The Ethiopian country.
They never was colonized. They never got conformed like Haiti and all the other countries. The Somalia, they was never able to penetrate their forces. So that's where the knowledge stands, and that's where the oldest Bible originated from, is the Ethiopian Bible. And when you go into knowing who Jesus was and where he was at in his lineage, he was in Ethiopia, you know. So a lot of the doctrinated scriptures puts him back in Ethiopia, where all the miracles and all the journeys transpired to give him his assignment to go inside of Jerusalem.
They don't put him there. They don't put him there looking like you and I.
Right. Because that's the problem. Why would they do that when the economic resources of this world, they would not? Yes, whitewashed.
It was whitewashed.
Well, this is what we said. We blackwashing it now.
That's right.
Y'all need to understand that you need to get your copy of the Ethiopian Bible, which has 88 books, mind you. The 22 books that was missing.
That's right.
Yes, the whole thing about why the flood happened, the thing about why there were real giants, and David and Goliath was a real situation. There's a whole lot of all of that. Yes, and because they hid this from us. Listen. Every prophet, everybody in the Bible who we call renowned are of African descent.
Listen, one of the
disciples. He didn't. They were the Jews and the Hebrews of that time were people. Us.
That's right. There you go, D. One of the most important things that you said, Deacon Jerome, and Deacon Jerome, I want D to explain this, because this is one of the things we talk about on a larger scale. When we talk about Argentina, the United States, and Israel not allowing us to receive what we've been due from day one. Those are not the original Jews. They're thinking of Israel meaning the Jews of Israel, but that's not the same Jews that they're fighting about right now. Those are the Jews that was turned Jews, that was given the Jewish standardship. What is that, D?
They are Jewish.
They Jewish. Now explain to the people that might don't know and don't understand.
Well,
they're not the Jews that we were originated. We the originated Jews and Hebrews.
Right.
But they came on.
Right. We are the originated Hamites and Moabites. From the Bible.
That's right.
They came from Cain and Abel.
That's right.
All right. And so we are the original people.
That's right.
And so
of descent.
Right. Of the cloth, you might say.
Right.
And so now you have these Jewish people. That's why they call them Jewish.
Right,
Jewish.
Because it was started.
Right. So it was some kind of
Anything
movement.
that's ish ain't the whole thing. You know what that is. It's like ish mean like.
Right,
Yeah,
like.
listen, man.
That's right.
Come on, dog.
Jewish means like. That's what that means. Like Jewish.
That's
so,
right.
They Jew-like. They're not Jews. They Jew-like.
That's right.
Right.
But yet
And they
still,
have been given the power,
Right.
and land.
Well, they
and
given the
resources.
power and land is because it's just like the land over here in America,
That's right.
or whatever, which is originally our land or whatever. They assign it to other people because they stood up and they, okay, we'll take it.
That's
Since we didn't know how to take it as
That's
a people,
right, that's right.
because they oppressed us and so oppressed us for so long, right? We don't know who the hell we are.
That's
the
right.
majority of us
That's
don't
right.
know where we come
and
from,
what we are.
That's right,
And whose we are.
right? And so therefore, they have given us our identity.
That's right.
And so they tell us, oh, no, you African American. Oh, no, you're black. You a nigger.
That's right.
You this, you that. Right? But they can't tell us who we are.
And whose we are and what we are. And that's one of the most important things that we got to understand, like you, Deke, you always express. When we wake up as a people, as a nation, and as a collective and realize who we are, whose we are, and what we are, then because we're not the minority. And that's one of the most easiest things that they put on our head when we go into school. When you go into grade school all the way up, Head Start, they teach you are a minority. When you go into school, you taught that in high school, you taught that in college, you taught that in your workforce, throughout life, that you are the minority, which means that it digresses us. Because when you find out you the majority, the power of knowing that there's more of us than meets the eye gives you energy, gives you faith, gives you hope, it gives you purpose, and it gives you determination. They took out the determination of our people.
They took out the hope from
the
our
hope
people.
of our people.
Pulled the rug
That's why
right from
Marcus Garvey wanted us to show America what it would be like without us. And that's why I stand behind what he was teaching and what his mission was. He was saying, if we remove ourselves from this situation, how would you become a powerful nation without us and without our work and our help and our inventions and our enthusiasm? Take us back, send us back, pay for it. If you can't pay for it, we'll get our own way back. And they could not let that happen because just like Moses and Pharaoh, why would I let the people go who have built up the Egypt that is known today, the pyramids, the wealth, the royalties, the gold, the brass, the silver? We could not afford to let you go because then we would digress. You imagine if we interpopulated our relationships with other races, that what would be missed out is the Caucasian perspective, because the more of us integrating, now it takes out the what? The one thing that we have that's more powerful for them is the melon. That melon spreads like paint spreads on a hand. That's why we are so dangerous when it comes down to what we're doing, because if we populated this whole society like the Moors did when they conquered.
The Moors, that's right.
They conquered, that produces the Italian breed and the Italian bloodline. If we populate throughout this whole continent, the Spanish, then you know what the the race record would look like. Come on now.
Well, they say
I do want to. Can I clear one thing up though?
Yeah.
There's only one race, man.
It's
It's
right,
a
but
human race.
on a
That's right.
global,
There's only one race.
but on a
There's
classification, it's only one race. But on a classification status, if we were to integrate with the ability that we were produced to do, is to multiply, that would wipe out what we already know as one race. And that's the strongest pigment in the African man is that melanin that takes over all.
I mean, they do say by the year 2050 there will be no pure race, like they talk about the pure race, the white race, and all of that.
Saving that.
Yeah, but not race. I should say
how can you have anything be pure when it is recessive?
Right.
No, how can you have something be pure that's recessive? That's an oxymoron. You can't be pure and then be something that can't hold your own. That can be conquered by anything else. That's like, well, I'm about to go into chemistry. We don't want to go there on the show.
Well, a seed begets a seed. A seed begets a seed. And we are the original
seed. But the black seed black is not even a color.
It's not.
Black is the color. It is every color.
It is every color.
It's every color.
And when people and listen, see, this is what kills me, man. How people read these Bibles, they read these Quran, and the truth be right there. The man, it's all said in all of them that before there was light, there was what?
Dark.
That was dark.
Dark.
Yeah.
And dark
that is
rule.
biblical.
And dark
that
rule.
is scriptural.
And dark
that
rule.
Is
and it was the way of life.
You can't have light without dark. You can't have light without dark.
And what ruled?
You can have dark without light, but you can't have light without dark. You
Okay,
can't
dark
have
came
light
first.
without dark.
So when darkness was upon the earth, that's what ruled.
Yes.
That's what ruled.
And
That was the
continues to
order.
rule.
That was the order of life. Darkness.
Right, and when they gave light, they gave light to the darkness.
To the
they
darkness.
didn't give light to rule. They didn't give
That's
light
right.
to rule.
They gave it to the darkness.
Light to show
to
the
work
darkness.
to serve the darkness and to operate under darkness. That's why they said, what is the best time to rest? What is the best time to rejuvenate? What is the best time to refurbish? What is the best time to reset and recalibrate?
What's the time
It's in the dark.
What's the time I'm up all night every night? That's
The
what
dark.
time it is.
When did the Knicks win? Last night. They didn't win last morning. They won last night. Let's put some respect on it. Come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But listen, let's get back on topic, man. Up on these things that's happening in our beautiful city, man. Because it seemed like for the last four or 5 days, man, the city's just been going wild, man. Completely chaos. Shootings every night. There was a shooting on May and Walden last night as well. Somebody's got shot.
But you said already. You just said earlier what the cause is. Just like in prison, there's no programs. There's no programs out here for these kids.
Well,
there's no jobs out here for these kids. No. Then they got no mental health programs. They got no community service. No community centers they can go to. No BOCES they can go to and learn a trade. They got none of the stuff that these kids need to keep their minds and emotions occupied. Other than being on those streets.
Well, one of the
same
most
thing
important.
they doing us in prison.
And you know what?
And it's social media. All of this too. Now, you got to understand that.
Hold on, you got to
plays a big
think about
part
it.
now,
Social
too.
media, consumption, and addiction, which falls into mental health. If you can't pay for the prescription that is prescribed by authorized or a practicing physician or a pharmacist, now what happens? You're going to get the second hand, third hand, fourth hand.
Well, self-medicate.
Self-medicate. And self-medicate allows you to do two things: escalate and de-escalate. Now, what happens in between, you're accountable for. If you at an all-time high, then you're going to do anything your mind to tell you to do. But when you de-escalate, then you're going to know the results of what you did.
Right.
When you go to de-escalate at an all-time low, now it's just like the Incredible Hulk. When the Incredible Hulk turns into the Incredible Hulk, he destroys everything in its circumference. But when he comes down, then he realizes what damage he done, and now he's at a pitiful, guilty state of mind. That's what happened with mental health.
And what is he when he wake up? He's naked.
He's naked. He's naked and afraid, and he's in a fetus position. And everything he did was damage, and that's what we got to look at. When you create a gamma ray, and you allow him to be possessed with something that takes on another form of identity. One thing we got to always remember: what's inside wants to get out. It don't want to be hid. That enemy inside, or whatever it is that triggers you from his mental health, from addiction, from abuse, trauma, it's not going to stay hidden within. It wants to be identified. It wants to be heard. Just like what happened on Broadway. Whatever he had, it wanted to be exposed. They just happened to be there at a time when it was willing to have an audience, which allowed it to be a confrontation. They acted in a way in which that was not protocol. That was not training. Because had they would have been on their best training, they would have been able to execute and surround and solidify the conditions of the person that they were flagged down to take in consideration. They would have barricaded the parameters, put everybody in safe passage, and allowed the crisis services team to add on to the investigation. Now, if he would have wanted death by a police officer, that would have been more understandable than pursuing him, chasing him, and agitating him to become a credible hawk. Now, come on, Deacon Jerome. Let's talk about it. You want to go there? Let's go there. Where was the first initial training protocol? I don't care about no scissors. I don't care about no box cutter. To secure the area and to look at the circumstances and the situation, who is he trying to harm other than himself? How many people that stand by,
volume,
get them out get them out of there?
You ain't got
Your volume is gone.
Okay, here we go.
When you don't look at us as the human beings that we are, then all you can think about is slaughtering, harming, and oppressing. When you see them do that, remember this coward that did the 514 massacre, killed 10 people, walked out the store, laid his weapon down. It was not a constant to get in the vehicle or nothing. Was taken to McDonald's and everything else. Did they do that to you? Do they do that to me? We don't even have to kill no. I've been roughed up worse in a traffic stop than that guy was after he came out and killed 10 people.
They
don't see us the same.
Mistaken identity
they don't see us the same.
Mistaken identity can lead to violence, a violence attack. Mistaken identity 9 times out of 10 leads for what?
Man,
aggravated assault.
Social media.
Aggravated assault.
Listen, go on social media right now. They got pages of white people with axes, hammers, guns, bows, arrows, machetes attacking police, and they don't kill them.
They don't even shoot them.
Aggravated assault. What is aggravated assault? It is privilege assault. Aggravated assault is privilege assault.
They don't shoot them, and then it's just like you said, Jerome. They don't look at us as human.
We don't qualify
as you know, a respectable man or woman or whatever. They look at us at the same light that they looked at us for over 100 years when we went through slavery as chattel, as property that they can do what as they will. And
so
that's
my
what
next
they
question,
do.
since you're gonna bring up slavery, you're gonna bring up traditional accountability. My next question for both of you and anybody else that's listening and on: where's the NAACP when it comes down to issues and matters that concern the East Side? What is Thurgood Marshall is thinking right now? I mean, I know he's turned over in his grave because all these acts of violence, all these acts of shootings, there has been no representation by the NAACP. And I don't understand that.
NAACP. Well, you know who run the NAACP. We ain't gonna put.
I mean, I'm just asking a question. I'm asking a question. I'm asking a question. I'm asking a question.
Runs the NAACP in Western New York, and they said nothing because just
why is that?
He's the gatekeeper. Because he's the gatekeeper.
That's what I'm trying to tell you,
He's the gatekeeper.
I'm telling you.
But why is that? Why has there not been any press conference? I know that the city of Buffalo and the police department have to have their press conference, but there's also a counter reaction. The community press conference has not evolved. Where's the community press conference? Who was it?
Yes, Pastor Giles.
When was this?
Today.
That's not a community press conference. That was a press conference by one of the community activists or leaders. But the community press conference is the NAACP, who has attorneys, who have financial backing. They have all the money that it takes to solidify and bring together a supportive investigation that allows the internal affairs to do their job and allows the commissioner to be held accountable. Am I right, Deacon Jerome? The accountability of the NAACP.
And they don't get paid by the city, the state, or none of that so that they could be compromised and doing what they're supposed to be doing. That's why.
But
they haven't.
But if you say, who runs the NAACP in Buffalo?
The president of the NAACP in Buffalo is Pastor Blue.
And so now, why would you think that he would do that then?
It's not even about him as an individual.
Right,
it's not him as an individual.
But he has control of it. And so, he makes the decisions. I guess they have a board.
What is the largest chapter in this region? Because it actually started in upstate New York. It actually started. So what do you?
The movement. You damn right.
That's right. So what are the strongest chapters right now? You got to look at New York State should be the strongest because we're the headquarters. Now,
but it's not though.
But we have so much attention that's taking place when it comes down to questioning issues and concerns. Because even right now, let's be honest, Deke, you on the line, others is on the line right now. If he's a mental health patient, if he has mental health
They don't
issues,
care. You're right,
and
Sheila. They don't
he's
care.
supposed to be in a position where he's supported because he's a black man who might have engaged in a attack against a police officer, but the rightful representation needs to come from the NAACP, because we have to fight. Is he competent? Is he competent to hold trial and to be tried for what? Assault on a police officer, attempted assault, or manslaughter on a police officer, because he's going to be charged. The minute he comes out of surgery,
Yes.
the minute he got a handcuff
Oh, he
and
charged
ankle
already.
bracelet.
He charged to the bed. He handcuffed to the bed.
So
right
is he
now.
competent
Well,
to
you're
stand
right,
trial?
No, but
Right,
you're
well,
right.
I
You're
mean,
right.
they-
The charge has already been written up. They know what they're going to charge you with.
No,
but the question
they-
is, where is the legal representation?
Representation.
I have friends who work for the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, and this is all they did. When cases like this came up, they swooped in and they put their legal expertise and all their resources behind fighting it and getting justice for the right reasons. And we don't have that here in Buffalo.
Say that
you're
again,
right.
Dick, because you said you got friends, so their job is to activate, to be proactive and
Yes.
activate, and to put their stamp on it,
Yes.
to make sure that all these things
Yes.
are accountable. All these things are in the files. His medication, his arrest record, his time in prison, what he was like in the prison when he was in school. Because don't forget the school to prison pipeline. Was he in special needs? Was he classified as being underdeveloped? All these things account, because he's not an old
Did
man.
he have all that lead in the system?
Did he have
that
lead in
they
the
still
system?
ain't cleaned out of
That's
Buffalo.
right.
That they know contributes to the mental illness and ability to get involved with criminal behavior. They
How
know
do you
this.
try somebody of that magnitude, and what is the chances of him getting the proper representation, seeing that he's in a poverty-stricken system? I know his family don't have the financial means and needs to pay for a high-priced attorney. So what is the next step when it comes down to just pure justice, which we are entitled to from the Constitution? We
There's
have
no
the right.
justice.
We could do-
We're
There's no justice.
right. I mean,
So how do
there's
we
no
feed? We're feeding a
justice.
system that is supposed to support cases like that, because that could put
Right.
him in a bad situation. What does that say to our mental health community? What does that say? If he doesn't get proper representation, what does that say?
Well, I mean,
That's what we need to
Pastor.
do.
I mean, Pastor. The reality of it is that he's not the first and is not going to be the last, because the way the system works. I mean, remember, as Jerome always say, the system is not broken; it's working fine. And so, right, the system is designed to work against us, to keep us oppressed, to keep us in and out of prisons and institutions, because they're using us as a cash cow. And so, right, they're not going to help us. I mean, the only one that can help us is us.
And what
I
when
mean-
you say, okay, helping us is us, but the arm of our association was founded on the fact that the NAACP is another arm of the people, the underserved, those who are considered the minority instead of the majority. This is what it was designed for. The money and the resources go into that. So
You're
that
right.
is another arm of our way of standing up against the
I mean,
system.
Right.
And
So-
one thing,
so
we
we
have to
should be
trouble the
demanding-
waters.
so we should
Trouble
be
the
right.
waters. The water's got to be
we should
troubled.
be demanding that they do their job. You're right.
Yes,
no,
and take
brother,
in
you're
consideration.
100% right. See, two things could be right, and that you're both right.
That's right.
Dal is right that what we need more than holding him accountable and the NAACP is to hold ourselves accountable and do
That's
what we're
right.
supposed to do. But by the same token, we should be holding them accountable, or at least exposing those in our community who don't work towards our interests.
That's
so that
right.
everybody
The-
knows. And if you decide to mess with them, then we know what's up with you.
He deserves, and just like anybody that is of a caliber of underserved, underprivileged, and reentry,
Just
and
like
mental
many
health,
that came
he
before
got
him.
every element. He got every element that qualifies him. Just like when you go to court and you don't have no income, you don't have no money, you're on welfare, you're on system, you're in the
Right.
system.
They give you-
They give you
Right.
a what?
A public defender.
A public defender.
Right, a public
And so what
defender.
that does, and then that
public
the
pretender, whatever you wanna
retainer.
call him.
It works on pro bono. So that pro bono helps you have the privilege and have the opportunity to get equal opportunity as somebody who was working and making $75,000 a year.
You know what?
Whether it works or not.
They don't work on pro bono.
No, I'm talking about you could get somebody.
Work on a set.
They work on a set, but then there's also opportunity for somebody can take a case that they can use and they can use, and do a pro bono case.
That's
what
right.
I'm saying,
That's if they choose to do that.
That's
And,
right.
But right. It's just like, we got somebody on the line, Sheila Green. She says, you see what she got up there, right? They pick and choose who they want to help. We're talking about the NAACP.
and that's why we got to trouble the waters.
Right.
Trouble the waters. I'm a solution advocate. I'm not a problem advocate. I'm a solution advocate. If we don't trouble the water, then it's our responsibility. I sleep better because I know that I trouble the water. I sleep better because I know I throw a ball at a batter. If my job as a pitcher is to throw a curveball, a strike, or go a lot ball or a flop ball,
is what you saying.
then I'm good trouble.
Good
and it's
trouble.
biblical. So
Yeah,
it's
good
biblical
trouble.
because every now and then there's a what? There's a Jacob that evolves that have to trouble the water, that have to dig up the wells that the oppressor has what? The Philistines
Right,
covered up.
Right.
So every now and then there comes a time when somebody have to get the water back for the people can have food, water, nourishment, for cleaning,
Life.
disinfecting, and life.
Yeah.
So we have to be those diggers to dig up the wells that our fathers have put there and God has blessed us with. We got water right here in Buffalo.
Yeah.
But the wells is
So you say so? No. He said he want resolution. We asked on your show, on our show on WUFO, that Reverend Blue reach out and come and be on the show, on this show, that show, or anything to show, so that we can ask these questions and find out what the deal is. You said, what we gonna do? Let's go to the proverbial horse's mouth and say, yo, what's going on? Why aren't you? Why didn't we hear? Why don't we see? We know why, but at least give the person the opportunity to respond.
Daryl
to our
Harris
query.
need representation on all platforms. This is a high-profile incident. This is an incident that took place in our good
Yes.
city, and it needs to have the attention of not just one side, but every side. That's why I put on my
You're
social media page, is it justified or is it unjustified? Not only does that bring everybody to accountability, but it keeps the ink wet, and it keeps it fresh. Because if we don't talk about, we're not worried about right or wrong right now. We just want the right thing to happen, because if we're standing for mental health, if we have mental health month and on our 12-month calendar for a year, if we take aside and take a day for cancer and mental health,
May is mental health
that's
month.
what I'm saying.
That's right.
So
May
what
is
better
mental
way
health.
to exercise the mental health month by putting all of our resources together to use this as an example to see what's wrong with the system, what's wrong with the issues. We need to address mental health, just like giving somebody 15 years to 25 years and they suffering from mental health, and you putting them in a facility in a
That's
population.
viscosity.
That's right. Then how are you solving a problem? There's no solving in that problem. Because now what they're going to do is learn how to get better or learn how to get worse.
They're not in the business of solving
That's
problems,
right.
my brother. We already
I
know
know
that.
but
and so therefore, it's like you said, right? Who we gonna hold accountable? Who we're gonna look to that's gonna be able to help this brother get this brother the help that he deserve and need. I mean, yes, the officer was stabbed, in the knee or something?
Wherever he was stabbed, we're not taking away from the fact that the action didn't
Right.
take place. But what is the cause of the action?
Right.
Like Deacon Jerome saying, the action is prevented. If you walk up to a person who is deaf and you ask them to comply and you're talking to them verbally, they can't hear you. So now if you take force on that person, they don't understand. Some things is be considered a game, or some things is considered fight or flight. Fight or flight, or a coping mechanism. And those are all the things you got to consider. You don't go into the jungle and you don't go inside the cage of a lion and start to begin to feed him without understanding that you're invading what? His safety space, his space of destined and seclusion where he is now harming you. If they give animals in the Congos the ability to beat cases because you went into their place of comfort, you went around the gorilla's place of habitat.
Right,
then
personal space.
you
Right,
went in their personal space, and they began to act primitive like they are. They are defenders of themselves, even if they are wrong. You have to understand, and you have to sit down and recognize the position that we're in on the east side. Going to the issues, and knowing that we need the proper protocol when we're in these places and spaces. Even if it's unacceptable by the community, I'm willing to deal with that. I'm willing to agree with that. But we need to be more educated and informed on how we handle each other. That's all I'm basically saying. So I'll take first accountability. I'll take responsibility. Hold me accountable because I'm not doing a better job at bringing an education to our people that we need to handle ourselves and govern our community. That's why the establishment of GYC, Govern Your Community, I'll take first responsibility on all platforms because we need to do a better job and govern our community. That's why I'm pushing for us to be 50 deep at the Juneteenth, because if we're not recognized as govern our community, then we're taken away from the purpose of the Emancipation Proclamation. We're taking away from the ability to govern our community. That's the Constitution. That's what, the Second Amendment. We have the ability to do all those things and make ourselves more human than the Constitution even say we are. So I'll take first responsibility. But I would love to have standing next to me those associations that was built on helping our people get liberated and get treated with royalty and equal opportunity and equality. There's no equality when a person gets railroaded and they have mental health issues and they go to prison because they have an aggravated assault against a police officer. That's not equality.
No, that is a recipe for a bid that's going to be filled with being assaulted because you supposed to assault a police officer. Is going to be filled with a lot of SHU time, supposedly to protect you. And all it does is make people worse. Like I said, bitter and worse. I mean, you know, we started talking about how it's so bad, and now here's some of the resolutions. Talking about one, we got to hold ourselves accountable, each other personally, and then as collectively. You stood up and said what your accountability is. I said accountable for falling for the tricks in the beginning and not being there to help guide my community prior to now, spending all that time in them damn facilities and under their oppression. I'm dedicating the time now to doing what I'm supposed to be doing for my community. That's what I'm willing to sacrifice and give up. But if people you can say we can agree on everything, but this has got to be sacrificial, man. Nobody can walk out of this feeling like they didn't give up something, because it's only when we sacrifice do we really treasure what we doing. When we do it because somebody else says it, when we do it because it's comfortable or convenient, that's not true. When you do it from out of a sacrifice, knowing you're losing to gain, that's when you really gain, man. And that's what we're not doing. We're not being sacrificial. We want somebody else to do it. We want somebody else to write it. We want somebody else to stand up. We want somebody else to go on the radio. We want everybody else to do something. But it's the whole everybody, anybody, nobody, and somebody thing all over again. Everybody thought somebody was going to do it. Nobody did it. This is where we at now. This is where we at now. So we're taking accountability. What we're saying is, if you want to be a part of this GYC 50 more, you please reach out to any one of us. You can reach out to Pastor Tim Newkirk at the actual GYC Ministries. You can reach out to Darryl Scott. He gave you his information before. I think my number and email is in the bathroom in several establishments, because I can hear from everybody. Reach out to us. We'll get you a shirt. Can't guarantee you no shoes, but I'm working on it. We'll get you a shirt,
a hat. Listen,
and you'll walk in unity.
You walk in unity.
A community that's been much maligned.
That's right.
A community that now realizes its own purpose and its own power.
That's right, because that's one of the most important things to bring up. One of the most important things to bring up is this: when we say govern your community, we don't separate our prison population, our loved ones, school to prison pipeline, the housing issues that we deal with and face, because one of the things that we believe in is God birthed the promise in us, a contract, that as long as we obey him and we are obedient and we trust him and we apply to his knowledge and apply to his wisdom, which means finding out about the books, finding out more and more and more, because we says, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be open, ask and it shall be given. These are the things that we're doing around this quest. And what it happens is we forget the fact of the matter that we have to always be willing to learn. We have family members that's incarcerated. We have children that's been put on medication, that's been marginalized as to be inefficient and incompetent to keep up a classroom average and to be able to function. We have all these different diagnoses that's taking place on our behalf. But we need to get together and formulate a strategy and a movement that has already been put in place and ordained by God. Just like you said, Deke, we are understanding that it's better to be obedient than to sacrifice. We have skipped past obedience, and now we're sacrificing in our times, and our time is at hand. The reason why people are crying and saying, help me, my son in prison, this is what they're doing, they're railroading, he can't get no phone calls, they've got him in solitary confinement, because there's some form of disobedience that was not added to your mission and your assignment. Your assignment qualified for you to be obedient and to begin to fight against the system before it got out of control. So now we're sacrificing our time, our effort, our money, our resources, and our health to go and fight for a cause that God had already put on our plate and said, if you do this now, then it will benefit him later. And that's how we've fallen short. It's better to be obedient than a sacrifice. Now we're in a sacrificial state. When Abraham was obedient, he did not have to sacrifice because God already has a sacrificial lamb waiting in the bush. So if we're obedient, look at my shirt. It says GYC America, because if each one of us teach one, and all it takes is a few of us to ignite a whole bunch of us, because we all will be governing our community, because we all are a part of the same country that we helped create. The GYC is not about a community only. It's about an America that we created and God gave us authority and power over.
It's about an America that we run. We run our community.
It is the antithesis to MAGA. How about that? This is what really would make America great, when they see the greatest potential and the greatest promises they ever had in this country, which is us, that built it, that sustained it, and that even to this day keeps it afloat.
People walking around with their passport, but I'd rather walk around with my reparation papers, and I'll turn in a passport any day for reparation, because if I got my reparation, I don't need a passport because I already own it. My brothers and sisters own it. If I want to go to Ghana, if I want to go to Nigeria, if I want to go to Libya, Liberia,
right,
if I want to go to Pakistan, wherever I want to go, I got my reparation papers. They're going to give us an all-standing ovation when the plane lane. They're going to treat us like the New York Knicks when they got back to New York.
Right.
They're going to treat us like the royalty, because we got the first reparation when we left, and we fought for it, and it was either blood or it was death. And like you said, it's either blood or death at this point.
I mean, y'all see me, I was on my phone for a minute, right? So I was pulling up this bill that was passed.
That's right.
In 2014, right? And it goes deep. We're going to have to probably do another show on this, but I just want the people to just basically look this bill up, right? It's House Joint Resolution 1203-56. It was passed 2014, and that basically is a resolution that was given to the people that look like me and you, right? And it gives us it basically acknowledged who we are.
That's right.
Since, right, we really don't know, like I said earlier, we really don't know who we are, where we come from,
and
or
what we are.
All right? We really don't know. But there is certain things that's in place that will help you find out. And then, right, you need to seek the knowledge of self so you'll be able to know whom you are and who you are.
And what you are.
Right.
And that's why we fall short, because we don't know, one, who we are. We don't know whose we are, and we don't know what we are. We're still confused. We're still complex because we have been separated by design. Because the minute that we come together, we have all the resources. We are the doctors, the scientists, we are the gold, the blacksmiths, we are the warriors, we are the protectors, we are the watchmen on the tower. We have been given all these things. We know everything that have to do with survival because we taught those who came in how to survive and how to sustain themselves. You see what I'm saying? We are the original bloodline. We are the original people. Just like Deke said, our DNA is what fueled this whole society. We are the piece that everybody wants a piece of, and they try to separate our voice and our emotions and take away our blood that blows through our vein because they want our resources. Our resources don't start with the earth. Our resources start within. That's why they want our melon. That's why they want our brain. That's why they ask us to donate on your license. Can you give your organs over? Can you give your brain over to scientific experiment? Because we are outliving, outlasting. We are populating this continent. We're having babies throughout all the circumstances and situations. We are still regenerating life. So we are the very thing that keeps this world turning. We keep the world turning.
Right.
But we're confused and we're separated. So as long as they're colonizing us.
Right. Again. But listen, I want to read a quick passage from this bill, right? It says, whereas the Moorish Americans are teaching their people their true nationality and divine creed, that they may become better citizens and know that they are not niggers, colored folks, black folks, nor Afros, because these names was given to slaves by the slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865. In this era of time, as all nations are seeking peace, the indigent Moorish peoples of the Americas are now unified to link themselves with the family of the nations.
Man, you know what's going to end up happening, Deacon Jerome. You back on? You still on? This is what's going to end up happening. God is going to judge our people. He's going to judge the bench warmers. He's going to judge the naysayers. He's going to judge the instigators. He's going to judge and the gatekeepers. And what he's going to do is say, I'll get rid of the whole nation of them, because he'll bring up another generation that is willing to do the work. Look how old. Look, we got people, friends and family who are old in age. Better. They done time. They got off addiction. They still battling with addiction. They still battling with mental health. That has not picked a side. They're non-contested. Yeah. They're bench warmer coaches. They're co-pilots. They guide in the car from the passenger seat saying, go left, go right. You should do this, you should do that. And what happened is society and social media has created a norm and a comfortable space for a non-participator to get up there and dictate. Look at how many announcers got more value than the actual athlete. You got announcers that are not even never played a sport, but they're analysts. And they're telling about the numbers and the percentage of what a person doing out there on the field. But if the rubber, they're getting paid more money than the athlete. And if the rubber ever met the road, they would crack under pressure. They couldn't even sustain the weather, the elements. But that's what we got in our society. We got people right now, friends, family, and brothers and sisters. Let's just be honest. We got brothers and sisters that won't pick a side, that won't throw a rock in a riot, that won't throw rice at a wedding, but will grow older and keep crying about money. The first thing they keep saying, Deke, oh, I'm trying to get paid. I need some money. Why God would bless you with money when you're not even putting the money to the resources that he's going to give them to you for? Right. Being rich don't mean you get to hold all the wealth. Solomon provided for his whole people.
His whole kingdom.
His whole kingdom. We got people that want to be rich right now that we talk to every day, but they want to be rich for their own personal gain. A fool and his money will soon depart. You got people who had major riches and never did anything with it but spoil it and waste it. And now they're trying to do it all over again. When if God didn't trust you then, why would he trust you now? Right. You have to come into full repentance. The reason why he's not blessing people in this season, because they have not repented. They have not, what Deke said, they have not picked a side. They have not put up their life. What would you give your life for? What would you deny your life for? They're not going to be crucified, just like Sheila said. Right. Are you willing to be crucified?
Right. That is the question.
Are you willing to be the sacrificial lamb for the movement to make forward? If you're not the head of the movement, now guess what? You don't want no parts of it. Why did John send his disciples to tell Jesus? He said, should we send for another? Should we look for another? Or are you he who is? Are you him? Are you the Messiah? Because I'm about to get my head cut off in the morning. I'm about to get put on a platter and served for pleasure. Did I do this for a worthy cause, or should we look for another? And he said, tell John, the blind see, the deaf hear, and the lame walk, and deliverance has come, and the authority is in my hands. He let him know. Tell him, he didn't answer the question. He gave him results. The blind is seeing. The deaf is hearing. The mute is talking. And miracles and miraculous things has happened.
What time? I can't see the. We're about to go off the air, man. What's the time on the timer?
30 seconds.
We got 30 seconds to break it down.
30 seconds.
People are not getting
30
blessed.
seconds. Let me close out this 30 seconds. First of all, I want to thank my guests for coming in. Pastor Tim Newkirk of the I Am Legend Show, Dial Scott of I Am Legend, I Am Losing, I Am Winning, everything. And this is your host, Jerome Wright. Thank you.
This is the Right Report.
Rich Christ. The Right Report is right. Think Twice Records, man. Think Twice Radio, the home of the future, Richard Wicker. Thank you for being such a trooper, man.
We love y'all, man. Govern your